Today is Thursday, June 26, 2014, in Syria crisis. Obama requests $500 million to train, equip rebels. That headline coming from not The Onion, but NBC News. When even the liberal mainstream media is covering the grid, you know shit has hit the fan. But first, let's recap. August 2013. Spearheaded by Secretary of State John Kerry, the US government, devoid of any evidence other than YouTube clips, incidentally like Benghazi, blamed Syrian President Bashar al-Assad for perpetrating sarin gas chemical attacks on his own people. Evidence of chemical weapons use is undeniable, Kerry says. There must be accountability. President Obama nods in unsurprising agreement. I didn't set a red line, the world set a red line, referring to chemical weapons prohibitions of the Geneva Protocol that, according to the Obama administration, the Assad regime overstepped. Ironically for Secretary Kerry, nearly 1 year has lapsed since his unjustified beating of the drums of war with Syria, and still, not a single shrapnel of credible evidence has been produced. Or perhaps legitimate evidence, though contrary to Kerry's opinion, has been brought forth. Like maybe the intel in which UN inspectors actually proved Syrian rebels, not the Syrian government, were responsible for waging chemical warfare. Wait, you didn't hear this? Oh well, you know, Western media is just too busy reporting on the true relevance and significance of Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, and, of course, Justin Bieber. Now, let's get real. The US government doesn't care about protecting the human rights of its own people, let alone those of foreigners. What it does care about is invading Syria under the noble guise of fighting for freedom by abetting the rebels, the enemy, that is the Free Syrian Army, so as to involve and overtake Syria's ally Iran. In so doing, petrol dollars will be siphoned into the good old US of A. Yeah, and just a footnote here, Iran, apart from Cuba and North Korea, is the only country remaining without a Rothschild-controlled central bank. To wrap things up, the US government is bolstering support for a NATO invasion by framing the Syrian government, even though, according to the UN, the 2013 chemical attacks were instigated not by the Assad regime, but by the Syrian rebels, funded by no other than the US government, which armed them with artillery, machine guns, and rocket launchers. Now, only 9% of the US population supports Syrian intervention, just 9%. Both Americans and Syrians don't want this, but war is terrorism with a bigger budget, and the wallets of profiteers are bursting at the seams. As former White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel so tersely once advised, quote, "Never let a crisis go to waste." So, what's more important to you, the current World Cup or an impending World War III? Andrew Demeter, TeenTake, Syria.